Through the ages, money has taken various forms, from gold and silver through to the two types of money used today, cash and bank deposits. People deposit money in banks in part for security reasons, because holding large amounts of cash is risky as it could get lost or stolen. But cash continues to be important. What can you do with money? Money makes it easy for people to buy and sell things. It is seen as a reliable medium of exchange between buyer and seller. But money has other uses, too. It helps you to store value. For instance, if you were given an ice cream worth $2, you could enjoy it right now, but if you didn't it would melt, and that value would disappear. But if you were given $2 instead, you could spend it any time you liked. Businesses use money when they price things. If you get your car fixed by a mechanic, you'll be charged in pounds and pence. The price could be listed in other units, bags of rice, pints of milk, etc., but money offers a shared standard that everyone can use, making it easy to compare prices. What has money been like in the past? Throughout history, people have used all sorts of things as money, such as gold, feathers and cowrie shells. Historically, as trade increased through the centuries, commodity money such as gold and silver was used in most countries. In the 16th century, goldsmiths began storing gold coins for customers and issuing them with receipts, which could be converted back into gold on demand. Carrying precious metals around is a considerable physical burden. Over time, people started to use the receipts instead. These receipts became a form of money themselves, and forerunners of the banknotes used today. We have been using banknotes for more than 300 years. For most of that time, banknotes could be exchanged, on demand, for the equivalent amount of gold. But the link between banknotes and gold, known as the gold standard, finally ended in 1931. Since then, banknotes have been a form of fiat money, money that is not convertible to gold or any other asset. Fiat money is more efficient to use than precious metals. Adjustments to its supply do not depend on the amount of precious metal around. But that adds its own complication. Precisely because there is a finite amount of precious metals, there is a limit on the amount of notes that can be issued. If there is no gold or silver to back money, how do governments know how much to print? That gets into the dilemmas governments face. On the one hand, the authorities will always be tempted to issue money, because governments can buy more with it, hire more people, pay more wages, and increase the popularity. On the other hand, printing too much money starts to push up prices. If people start expecting that prices will continue to rise, they may increase their own prices even faster. Unless the government acts to rein in expectations, trust in money will be eroded, and it may eventually become worthless. That is what happens during hyperinflation. To remove this temptation to print money willy-nilly, most countries. One advantage of a system that uses fiat money is that the amount of money in circulation can be responsive to changing economic conditions. This can support the smooth functioning of the economy. By contrast, the total amount of money circulating in the economy during the gold standard was ultimately limited by the amount of gold that could be mined. One reason might be that there just isn't enough gold to mint new money. When prices as a whole go down, it is called deflation. On the other hand, if there is more money in circulation but the same level of demand for goods, the value of the money will drop. This is inflation. Most money today is in the form of bank deposits rather than paper currency. Countries that have been down the path of high inflation experienced firsthand how the value of money essentially depends on people believing in it. In the 1980s, people in some Latin American countries, such as Argentina and Brazil, gradually lost confidence in the currency, because inflation was eroding its value so rapidly. They started using a more stable one, the US dollar, as the de facto currency. This phenomenon is called unofficial, or de facto, dollarization. The government loses its monopoly on issuing money, and dollarization can be very difficult to reverse. Some policies governments have used to restore confidence in a currency nicely highlight the faith part of money functioning. In Turkey, for example, the government rebased the currency, the lira, eliminating 6 zeros in 2005. Overnight, 1 million liras became 1 lira. Brazil, on the other hand, introduced a new currency in 1994, the real. In both countries, citizens went along, demonstrating that as long as everyone accepts that a different denomination or a new currency is the norm, it simply will be. Just like fiat money. If it is accepted as money, it is money. Without it, modern economies could not function.